Hey, you've actually already got two people in already. Well, I barely started as well. How's it going, guys? This is Taff. This is Taffs Word Live, and gotta be fair, the last time it went so well, I decided I'm going to make this a weekly thing now. Every single Monday night, I'm back here. Go on, Charlie. Good lad. Amber Army. There we go. Hey, Callum. Good to have you back, mate. Good to have any of you back. Now, 6 viewers already. Jesus Christ. Hi, Taff. Legendary Gaming. Hi. How's it going, mate? Nice one. So, I don't know if any of you caught the blog last night, but thank you, Callum. I like it when people like the channel. We do put a lot of work into it, but like I said, if you caught the blog last night, we do have our sponsor, Kevin Ward Media. Kevin used to be the editor of the Argus. Very good bloke, very big county fan, and was just more than happy to help us out with the Amber Army. And if you watched the blog last night, you'll also see what his money funded, basically. If you didn't watch the blog last night, get back and watch it after you finish watching this. I explain what Kev's money was put to use with. Anyway, let's kick this off. Who's got some questions for me? Surely it can't be all about me and the Amber Army all night. Anyone want to ask a question in particular about the rugby? Any plans to do a Newport County podcast? I don't know really. Obviously, I don't get a lot of time to myself. I'd like to do an awful lot more. I'd like to stream an awful lot more different things out there for all you guys. But we have got a lot of help in that sense now. We got a lad called Christopher Ball, and he's going to be doing an awful lot more for the channel now. We could be looking at some player and management interviews coming up very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thoughts on the striker situation? Bit gutted that we missed out on Matt Green. Rob Taylor, piss off. Where are we? There. Right, back to the striker situation. Woolly Bully wants to know about the striker situation now. A rumour going around today that Ellis Harrison could be on the way. Can we afford him? I'd like to think so. I'd like to think we have kept enough money for a proper striker. Ellis Harrison in a pacey team. We could be looking at a good season if we have that kind of striker, a pacey team, a pacey striker, but we are going to need a little bit of muscle, So let's see what it all brings now. When I plan on getting my haircut next week, I was going to do it this weekend because obviously it's got a bit long now. Next week I'm getting my haircut, if you must know. I go on holiday, so when I'm on holiday, there's not going to be a Taffs Word. So there'll be a Taffs Word live. There'll be another one next Monday. But the Monday after, I'm away on holiday with the missus, so there'll be nothing coming from me that week. The missus will kill me if I even try. So where are we going now? Charlie Corton, do you see a possibility of challenging for the top half or even playoffs next season due to Flynn's great run? It's a very good point, and it's a really good question. Can we kick on? I mean, basically, we're talking about a team that won 7 in the last 12 games. And the majority of that team, the most influential members of that team, have been kept together. Same management team. So basically, what I hope we don't find ourselves in is in a similar position to Wales. Now, with Wales, they couldn't adapt from being an underdog to actually someone who people are afraid to play. So they're going to play defensive. What I think is going to be our problem next season, if it happens, is people are not going to be going into games expecting to beat us. People are going to be going into games ready for us. Now, plan B, if that happens. Coleman didn't have a plan B, which is why Wales are doing so poorly in the qualifiers. I believe he'll work it out. Can Flynn do the same thing, basically? I got faith in him. In Flynn, I trust. Now, U and B, how much do you reckon Sorry about the fingers, I got to scroll up so I can see people's comments and questions. U and B, how much do you reckon we could get for Randall? Heard Crawley want him. Crawley got a bit of money behind them, I think. I don't know if that little gravy train has stopped or whatever, but when it comes to low league football, you don't really tend to get big fees for players unless they're young with the possibility of becoming, stars of the future. That's why we got fees for the likes of Regan Poole and Aaron Collins and Lee Evans. So, Mark Randall, I don't know if he'll command a fee, but, you know, we never know. We might get a couple of grand for him. You know, he's still under contract. Why not? Rob Taylor again. If we get to the playoffs, you've got to dye your hair. I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If you take up the drumming again, because Rob Taylor, our drummer, has quit. You've heard it here first. Rob Taylor is a quitter. So I tell you what, if you start playing the drums again, I'll take that deal. There it is for you. That's everybody bullying him to being the drummer again. Do we need to get rid of Bennett, bringing in another centre back? I don't believe so. I think we have got a good collection of centre backs. I think Demetriou played really well as a centre back, so that's how we got to use him, especially when we've got Butler and Wilmot for the left side. You look at Turley, who didn't get the chance last season, really. Bennett is a good centre back, and so's O'Brien. So we got 4 good centre backs there. Are we going to go with 3 at the back? Because if we're going to look at 3 at the back, then we may need to get another centre back. But then I'm thinking someone on loan, someone to try and just give our first teamers, you know, a bit of a push, you know, for their place, basically. So I don't see any reason why not. But we could even use Bennett as a defensive midfielder if we want to get another centre back. But we've got to get the strikers first. Hello, Scabs. Start match blogs again. Right. I'm going to look at trying to do something. We do the pre-match live on Facebook. Another announcement. That's going to be here from now on. You're going to see it through YouTube, our pre-match live, because I can do it on my phone now. This is quite a new thing to YouTube. Right. So match blogs. Say it takes a lot of time, and you don't get as many views as the actual clips of the atmosphere. So that's why I stopped doing them. It became a bit of a no-brainer. We make money off the advertisement on this, and that goes into our coffers. No one pockets any money through the Amber Army. So I'd like to start the match blogs again. I always felt that they were really good, but it's a lot of work for very little gain. That's what I'm going to say. But if there's enough demand, I'm going to be forced into making a decision on that. Hiya Jay. Do you think Sheffield United will survive in the Championship? Definitely. Too big a club to be any lower than the Championship. Should be top half of the Championship in the next couple of years, pushing for the Premier League again, in my opinion. Who do you think will be the most influential player of next season? Phelpsy. It depends, basically. If we do get that striker, then the most influential player is going to be from midfield, because that's the one who's going to be feeding that striker. If our strikers don't come through, if we don't get the top strikers that we need, then we're going to need to work on a defensive game and try and pick teams off. So I'd say, you know, you're looking at Demetriou, O'Brien, Joe Day in that case. But then if we do get the striker, I think Matty Dolan's going to play an amazingly big part. And I think Sean Riggs got more to do this season as well. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, there you go. Phelpsy's on my... There you go. Rob Taylor bets are off. There we go. You lazy fat bastard, you. Robbie Argyle, what position do you think Robbie Wilmot will play this season? He's going to be the same as he was before. That's how Flinney will remember him, as a left wing back. That's how he played his best football for us. Although, when he played forward, he scored possibly his most important goal for us when he played away at Hereford. I don't know how many people were actually at that game. I was there, and that has got to be one of the greatest away days of a Newport County fan's memory, especially since our reformation anyway. Obviously all the older guys will have good memories from back in the day, but you know, people in the new county generation will always remember Hereford as one of the best. Who do you think will wear the captain's armband next season? I think it's going to stick with Josh Labadie personally. I think he made a great skipper for the end of the season. You know, those 12 games, we needed someone to rally the team together on the field. I think he did that perfectly, so I'd be happy if he stayed as the captain. Could this season get worse than last season? I bloody well hope not. I mean, you can't take nothing for granted. I mean, every season, oh yeah, we're going to do better this year, and we don't. But at the end of the day, you don't know, do you? You don't know. If we can keep the team together, obviously we've kept the team together, if we can keep them moving forward in the way that we did at the end of last season, I can't see any reason why we can't push on and have a better year. Why won't strikers sign for us? Well, I don't think it's so much that they won't sign for us. It just depends who we're talking to. I mean, did we even talk to Matt Green? I mean, did we even talk to Zabrowski? Apparently we did. We signed for Eastleigh now, if you didn't know. I don't know. I mean, Matt Green, should he have gone to Lincoln? Well, they got the money to pay him, so why not? You know, I mean, there's a lot of feel-good factor around Lincoln at the moment. But like I said, at the end of the day, Strikers, it's not so much that they're not signing for us, it's a matter of we don't know who we're talking to right now. We don't know if we did talk to Matt Green. Word is we're talking to Ellis Harrison. I hope so. I hope that is one of the players we sign. You think Jackson will get on? I've said this a few times with Jackson. 3 managers last season all backed him. Yeah, I can see him having a good season if he gets the service and if he gets the confidence. Pre-season goals, as we've seen last season, isn't going to be enough for him. I think getting a new contract will give him that confidence. Now, where are we? Alright, do you think Dolan will start and how do you think he'll play for us? Dolan will start. I think he was Flinney's number 1 target. I think he will be the new Mark Byrne to us, in my opinion. And that's one player we really missed last season, was Mark Byrne, just somebody to run that midfield. We didn't have anyone running the midfield, except for when Randall was on form. So I think Dolan, with Randall going, I think that's an upgrade, because I think we're going to get a bit more consistency from him. Dude, I called this number and it was weird, what the fuck? Which number? I don't know what you're on about, Callum. You have to elaborate on that one for me, mate. Is Zabroski out of jail? Yes, he signed for Eastleigh, so he must be. Unless Eastleigh are running a prison team. What friendlies are you going to? Hopefully all of them. If there's any that's too far away midweek, I'm going to have to knock them on the head. But I'm hopeful of going to as many as I can. Does anyone want the money? Does anyone want the money? Which money are we talking about, Callum? You're going to have to explain these questions a little bit more. Alright, Rob Taylor, I've retired as a legend, best drummer in the EFL by far. Well, I'm not going to argue with that one. You know, you are the best drummer, which is why we want you to stay on, of course. Best penalty Rodney Parade has ever seen. Yeah, I'll give you that one. You're still a butt fucking quitter, though. Question for you. What was your lowest point as a county fan don't involve last season? I think someone asked me this the other week, and I mentioned Mansfield away 5-0 under Anthony Hudson. Bit of a tongue twister there. Anthony Hudson played. Well, Newport County played some of the worst football I've ever seen under Anthony Hudson, and the worst game of that was Mansfield when we got beaten 5-0. Could have been 10-0 on another day. There's that stand there and take it. And Mansfield, they don't like to just let you stand there and leave you alone. They want to really rub it in, and they really rubbed it in. But it was a good piss up on the way home, mind you, but still, it wasn't nice seeing us get battered like that. Being in the academy myself, do you see Flynn giving the youth a chance? If they're ready, he will. I can't see any reason why not. I mean, he gave Tom Owen Evans a chance. Didn't quite give Kieran Parcell a chance. Maybe Kieran's level isn't Football League at the moment. But, Charlie, I hope you get your chance one day, mate. I'm sure if you're up to it, the manager will pick you. And the same with any of the other academy lads. How do you think we'll do against Northampton? To be honest with you, I just hope we play well in the friendlies. You know, we use them constructively. You know, we use them to work on our system, and we actually look like we're playing good football with it. Scored a few goals and try not to concede so many. You know, as long as we look good in the friendlies, I don't mind what the results are, to be honest. Do you think Labardi will play more games this season? Say if he stays injury free and suspension free, as you say, yeah, he will. He'll be the captain, in my opinion, so he'll be starting every game that he's eligible for, of course. It was creepy. Do you want the number? If it's creepy, then no thanks. You're all right, Callum. F you, Rob Taylor, worst pool player. Oh, and darts. I actually saw Rob Taylor win a pool competition once, and he was an absolute dirty player. He was filth. All he kept doing was snookering people and opening himself up for better shots and things like that. He's a dirty player. Don't play against him. Is Graham Wesley our worst manager ever? No, not quite. I mean, he actually managed to do some bits of good, little glimmers of good. Unfortunately for me, I think Anthony Hudson was our worst manager ever, and now he's an international manager in an international tournament right now. I don't think he's our worst manager ever, but he's not. You know, he's not a good manager. He'll go down as a bit of a villain in county folklore, in my opinion. Only joking, Rob, you're a legend. Same year, mate. You know, Rob Taylor, he's banged that drum for a long time, and he turned a lot of haters into lovers of the drum. In the end, he took on an awful lot of shit for starting playing that drum, but he went through it, played his heart out, and now it's become, you know, a permanent fixture over the county. Liam Phelps. Would you say if we do end up with strikers no one wants, hopefully not, would it have been a bad decision in hindsight to release Ryan Bird, seeing as he did score goals? I think Ryan Bird wasn't quite Football League standard. I mean, yeah, he scored some goals. He had a good peg on him, and he was good in the air as well, but he just didn't do it consistently enough for me. He looked a little bit lost at times, a little bit of Jackson at the beginning of the season. But like I say, you can find the goal. But if you don't do it consistently enough at this level, then this ain't your level. So in hindsight, I don't think Bird going is going to be a bad thing. I got a feeling Jackson and Williams have got an awful lot to play next season. Awful lot of proving to do as well. So I don't know. We'll just see. We'll just see. Anyway, Sam Donovan has a question for you. When were you going to piss up on the Benno bus? My drinking days are behind me, unfortunately, guys. It's been too long. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm 33 years old. Not, the sort of age you should be quitting drinking, I know. But my youth was full of drinking. All my county weekends were full of drinking. But everything around me has improved. Obviously, doing things for the Amber Army has improved. Doing things on here has improved with me. So it was a good life decision for me. I'm doing an awful lot better work-wise as well. So I'm happy I've made that choice. I'll leave the piss ups to you guys. I'll be there in the car with the missus. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm bringing you guys quality content on a regular basis, who's going to argue, eh? Scabs, if I got that right, or Callum, I don't know what that number is, mate. I'm not phoning it, sorry. That's probably going to end up ripping me off for about 200 quid or something. Have you been on Jackson's wiki page and seen his goal to game ratio? I actually haven't, but you give me something to do tonight, so cheers. I'm going to look at that, Scabs. Woolly Buddy, your fave and least fave players. Are we talking county or are we talking like anywhere in the world? If it's county, my favourite player, and I say if it's at the moment, my favourite player would have to be Tuffy. Mickey Demetrio, because of what he did in the Great Escape. Least favourite players who've ever played for county. God, I mean, I don't ever like to hate on a county player. Anyone who ever put on our shirt and put the effort in for us, I'm always going to be grateful to. But you've got to look at players like Felino Jardim, if you remember who he was, and Anthony Hudson. Some of the players he brought in, they were garbage, unfortunately. Do you think the pitch will be a game changer? For us, yes. We may play a few games away at first, but we're going to have a nice cluster of home games. We use that pitch to our advantage, find a bit of home form, and yeah, it'll be a game changer for us. Out of all his clubs as well. So basically, Jackson, has he got a good or bad scoring record, Scabs? Can you enlighten us on that one? Throw a few stats up for us. U and B, are there any Swansea youngsters that probably link with? I'd love a Sheehan return. Wouldn't everybody? Swansea have always got good youngsters. I'm trying to think of the other players. I think there's a midfielder called Fulton who's good for Swansea. He looked good. Whenever I've seen him play, he's looked good. There's another striker. Is it Biati or Biabi? I can't think of his bloody name now, but he's a good forward. He could be like a Samuel replacement, so to speak. Why do we assign players with poor goals to game ratios? Oh, I don't know really. I mean, Aaron O'Connor didn't have the greatest goal to game ratios when he joined us, and he was our top scorer in a promotion season. Sometimes people need to be at the right place at the right time to do the right thing. Craig Reed haven't done much other than when he was with us. It's kind of horses for courses, so to say. Charlie Corton, if you could add 3,000 onto Spitty Park, would you move back? If it was our own, if it was a proper purpose-built stadium, for us, and we could maximise every potential financial opportunity with it, then yes, I'd be all up for it. But until Spitty Park improves, it's not the place for us. Opinions on Kevin Edison? I got to be fair, I had a chat with Kevin Edison just before one of the more recent Morecambe home games, and he just seems like the kind that enjoys having a laugh. He just turned around. I turned around and said, "Don't expect us to make it easy for you today." And he said, "Oh, we'll make sure that you're ready for it back as well. But one thing, don't go reporting me to the Football League or anything." I was like, "Well, no, we're not like that." But he was just game for a laugh, So I don't particularly hate the guy, but what I hate is the cheap shots he's pulled against us. Winning penalties, going down, all that kind of stuff. Have you asked for money yet? I know. I do that a lot. I know. Pre-season, trying to get money in the coffers and everything like that. Try and do our best. Um, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're running a Patreon page. I don't know if you guys know, but if you go onto our main page, it's actually our advertisement page now. It's the blog where I actually encourage people to join Patreon. But we're offering rewards. We got a really good rewards scheme set up for Patreon, where you can actually get some of our merchandise, scarves, t-shirts, badges, stickers, and things like that. So have a little look. I mean, if it's for you, great. If it's not, then nobody's, as long as you're watching us on here and you're supporting us on here, you're doing your bit for us that way anyway. Right, okay, I gotta scroll back up a minute. Would you bet £400 on Newport County finishing above 21st? If I had £400 spare, then why not? Yeah, I'd say so. I think we're going to do a lot better this year. If I'm going to put my neck on the line and say, yeah, where we're going to finish, I'd say mid-table. Hopefully the top end of that as well. But a boring mid-table finish would do me. What team do you dislike the most in our league? I think I had this already the last time. I think it was the last time, or on the tester one that I did. Luton is one I don't like. Stevenage is another one that I don't like. Obviously, Morecambe I don't particularly like very much either. But the thing is, we got such a big turnover in this league of teams. I mean, we got 4 teams coming down, 2 teams coming up. I mean, it's hard to hate teams when you don't see them often. But Plymouth is another one I'm not particularly fond of. So I'm glad they're gone, in a way. Obviously not to see them all happy, but at the same time, just glad they're gone. How many do you think will take Stevenage? About 400 or 500. Everyone's got to be up for it, haven't they, really? Hopefully more than that 600, I'm hoping. So, get some of his stats up now. Cheers, Scabs. Looking forward to seeing them. When our contract finishes Rodney Parade, where would we go? What would you do? What would I do? I think you've got to get in dialogue with the right people that are going to want to put money into the club. Spitty Park is sort of half done. It's good. If you look at Spitty Park, you've got the shed on one side, you've got the grandstand on the other. You spin that pitch around and it just about fits a Football League standard pitch, lengthwise. You get a stand on the one side, another stand on the other, and you make up a 4-stand stadium. Now, if you speak to the right people, you're talking about naming rights and things like that. And I know the club have been speaking to a hotel franchise about building us a stand with a hotel built in at the back. So, obviously, people watch the game in the stand, but the hotel's behind. And it's quite a prime location, considering the velodrome's just there, Dragon Park's just there. There's a lot of industrial places close by as well. So, it's a prime place for a hotel, so I think it's a good idea. So, yeah, Spitty Park could be a good option. To be honest, they're building too many houses around Newport for us to find a bit of land that we can actually build something from scratch. So, to be honest, I think when it comes to that, Spitty Park is going to be our only option, really. Oliver Davis, I want to pitch invade again. Don't we all? Hopefully, it's going to be for the very much the right reasons this time. Obviously, escaping relegation shouldn't be something to celebrate, but in the manner we did it, obviously we had to, didn't we? Hopefully, a promotion to the next pitch invasion. Are you going to Southend? Probably not. It's a Tuesday night. I work till 5. Southend's just too far away. And to be honest with you, it's not something worth booking a day off work. Because if I book a day off work for Southend and we beat them, and then we get a Premier League team away in the next one, and I don't have the days left, I'm going to be cursing my luck on that one. So I don't think I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to be going to Southend. Any games you're missing this season? Well, Southend looks like one. I haven't had a proper look through the fixture list yet. We don't seem to have as many away games on a Tuesday night, so I might try and book some time off to actually go to a couple of Tuesday night games. I know if you watched the blog last night, the Welsh flag, I'll be taking that to pretty much every away game I go to. So look out for that. What do you reckon would be the average home attendance? We've got to be realistic with it. I'm saying 3,000, just because the people who went to that Notts County game will have that memory ingrained within their brain for the rest of their lives, and a lot of people would have got the bug just off that game. It only took one game to give me the bug with Newport County. I think a lot of other people would also get the bug in the same way. Where are we? We got, thanks for bringing my badge down to my house and the free one. Oh, sorry, I've missed Woolly Buddy as well. Let me go back up, Rob. I'll come back to yours. Ethan, come on the port. Good lad. Callum, goodbye. Love this channel. Good to see you again, Callum. Thanks for getting involved. Woolly Buddy, top scorer this season. we've got to wait till we sign more strikers, to be honest with you. But with who we've currently got, I'd see a midfielder getting it, to be honest with you. Could be someone like Dolan or Owen Evans or Sean Rigg, maybe. Right, thanks for bringing my badge down to my house and for the free one. Well, thank you. Rob is a patron of ours. He gives us money, so I'm only glad to give him a free home delivery with a free badge. That's what I mean. You get on board with our on our Patreon, and there's a lot of things involved with it that we're going to give away. So get yourselves involved with that. So yeah, thanks again, Rob. Your support is very, very much appreciated. Ewan message retracted. I think he sent another one down at the bottom. Basically, alright, Scabs, this is what we're waiting for. This is the goal ratio for Marlon Jackson. It's pretty shocking. 1 goal in 24 for Aldershot, 0 and 11 for Tranmere, 0 and 14 for Halifax, 1 and 8 for Bury, and 7 and 8 for Oxford City. So the lower he went, the more he scored. Maybe lower down is his level. But he does look a tricky player to deal with. So if he can find the net, who knows? I don't think Craig Reed had the best scoring record before he joined us. I know it was 2 divisions, division and 1 division down when he scored his goals for us. But, like I say, you never know when someone's going to just ignite. Fresh trim, Lewis Prince. Yeah, I do need one, don't I? If that's what you mean, of course. Best and worst looking, Kane. Oh, come on now. I mean, you wouldn't look at another bloke like that, would you, really? I mean, point me in the direction of the county ladies team and I'll answer that question, Woolly Bully. UMB, how do you think the Forest Green will do this season? Well, with their money, I'd imagine they'll do decent. I don't think they're going to set the world alight. I know they're talking about, the likes of, getting into League One because there's 4 promotion spots when they've only been used to dealing with 2. But you got to play 23 other Football League teams this season. You haven't got to play the garbage that's in the conference at the moment, week in, week out. So you're in for a bit of a rude awakening, I think, Forest Green. Loving the live streams. Cheers, Callum. Keep getting involved, mate. Sing your favourite chant. Fuck off, Rob. You sing it. I'd rather kick this off Bisley and give all the compensation and pay off the contract and start work on Spitty Park. I'd imagine. I think that's a bit of a predictive text error there. Oh, there we go. You corrected yourself underneath there. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go back to Spitty as long as the setting is right for us. I'd be happy enough to go back to Spitty as long as we got the stadium purpose built, it's Football League standard, and obviously we got the opportunity to maximise our potential income as we used to do with Bar Amber, of course. Charlie Court and Kane, you're playing just in Edinburgh's Northampton Town and friendly. How do you think we'll get on? I mean, it could go either way with a friendly match. You never know how it's going to go. It depends on if anybody actually wants to win the game. I mean, it's mainly for conditioning and getting ourselves match fit. As long as we show signs of an improved team from last season, then I'll be happy enough with just that, basically. Don't have to get the results in the friendlies. You just have to see good things happening. I go to Spitty Park every Tuesday and have just reseeded, and they have just reseeded the pitch. It's not looking the best. That's another thing that have to be sorted at Spitty Park. We actually went to Rodney Parade because of how bad the pitch was at Spitty Park, and it was a big improvement. So, can you imagine how bad it gets with a full season of Football League football on there? No, absolutely not. One strike we need to look into, that Green's gone to Lincoln. Like I said, Ellis Harrison, Rory Donnelly I've mentioned as well. There are strikers out there. There are good players that have been released from higher development squads. So, I mean, don't panic, guys. We've got plenty of options out there. And imagine Flynn is talking to them. He's back off holiday now. Mad Ting, Chris Boy. Yeah, okay, if that works for you, mate. My good friend Luke Wilkins. Luke Wilkins, right, is the guy that started going to the county with me many moons ago. It was a thing we did together, best mates. And, them days will be days I'll cherish forever. But yeah, I am getting old. I don't know if you noticed, the hair's going grey. I'm going to have to invest in some Just for Men, I think. Reckon it will chant the Jack Bastard chant at Samuel. In a good way, I'd imagine, yeah. I think... Right, I've been quite critical of Samuel because of the way his transfer went down. I'll clear up exactly what my thoughts are on that right now. I'll always be thankful to him for what he did last season. a lot of people spoke to him, and he did say to a lot of people that he was actually going to sign for us, or he was going to at least listen to offers from us. He actually didn't even give us the opportunity to talk to him, which I'm a bit butthurt about, I'm not afraid to say it. I am a bit, but at the end of the day, he did the job for us last season. He played a massive part in keeping us up, so I don't think we're going to have any ill feeling towards him. But at the same time, I felt he may have valued us a little bit more and at least thought that we were worth talking to before signing for Stevenage. But what's done is done, I suppose. Can't wait for the friendlies. I can't wait for the friendlies. I just need to see some goddamn football, Samuel Chant should be Lion Bastard. He told me he wanted to play and he loved playing for the county. It's a good point though, Rob. That's the thing. He said he enjoyed playing for us, but then, in a way you can say he snaked off to Stevenage. He wasn't our player, as Chapper said. He wasn't our player, but we would have given him, loans work two ways, right? Let me explain this one. They work two ways. We get a player who's going to do a job for us, but at the same time, that player uses that game time to put themselves either in the shop window or at least in his parent club's sort of sight, for the potential to get into their first team. So it's always a two-way street with a loan. Right, where are we now? Right, Lewis Print. Ellis has signed a new deal, so hope for a loan on him. Right, we're talking Ellis Harrison now because someone's told me that he hasn't accepted an offer from Bristol Rovers yet. If that is the case, then we'll have to look elsewhere. Keep up the good work, bro. Cheers, Luke. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Right, I don't think we really need to go so angry at Alex Samuel. Yeah, he lied in a way. I mean, he even said to me that he was up for stopping. And he said that in front of Simon Sadler as well. Word has it that Samuel's agent turned his phone off the day he signed for Stevenage so no one else could talk to him. So we don't even know if it was 100% Samuel or whether he was shepherded to Stevenage by his agent who was going to get a big agent's fee. We don't know, do we really? I suppose we'll never know. I still say Wesley had some involvement with that because that is the link between Stevenage and Alex Samuel. Because you didn't know where that transfer came from, to be honest with you. I really don't know where it came from. Right, the two Athletics, their discus put massive chunks out of the pitch. Well, apparently the Athletics team, their lease ends next season. So that's something to think about. If that stadium could be ours and there could be some sort of project to give the Athletics team a new home somewhere else in Newport, maybe that could be the best for everybody. But if things work out with the Welsh Rugby Union and we start doing well at Rodney Parade, the pitch is good, the stadium gets worked on, the council get involved, it could be worth staying there, but it's just a matter of waiting and see, basically. Right. No hate should be put on Samuel. He may have said things to fans. Yeah, I agree with you then, Liam, yeah. Like I said, I am a bit butthurt over it because of how good he could have been. How good he could have been for us next season, been part of taking us forward, away from the relegation and taking us up to the other end of the table, hopefully. But at the end of the day, like I say, he was never our player, and we'll see. I've just been given word, actually, a text message just flashed up on my screen. Eastleigh are the ones that cancelled our friendly, so that's why we're playing Northampton now. So there's a bit of an exclusive for you. It was an Eastleigh thing, not an us thing. It wasn't us cancelling on Eastleigh so we could go and see Justin again. If Samuel scores, I'm throwing my shoe. If he scores against us, if he celebrates, I'll give him a rollicking. I know that much. If he scores and he celebrates, I'll give him a rollicking. If he scores and puts his hand up to say sorry, like Aaron O'Connor did, Aaron O'Connor, legend. If we get that kind of thing, then I'll applaud him for it. Don't listen to the boy from Farmland. Liam Phelps basically is from the Forest of Dean, so make what you want of that. I bet him and some of his male friends have had sex before. We need to put the little money we have, right, to look at the trouble we got into with Tom Meacham. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right, let me read over that again. We need to put the little money we have. Right, look at what. Sorry, the words are so small. I've got to really look at the screen. And I'm trying to touch the screen to stop them from going away because they keep going away in the middle of me reading them. We need to put the little money we have. Look at what the top we got at the top. Me too. We need a team that can stick together. Look at Jimmy Dack's season, only 2. Yeah, well, I think stability is the future for Newport County now. That is basically what we've got to look at. A stable team, a stable manager, a stable board, stable income, just maximising everything we can. James Watts has to get it right for me, as far as the commercial side of things, because that's where we're going to make our money through sponsorship. So he can fix a tractor in no time. Oh, I bet he can. From the Forest of Dean. I mean, he's practically from Cheltenham. At Spitty Park, we should get the running track and make the stands bigger. Yeah. I mean that predominantly would be the idea. As I said, I think what the idea would be was to spin the pitch around and have the 2 stands that they got there at the moment going from goal line to goal line, and then obviously 2 bigger stands down either end. Say if we get the hotel to do the one and then offer naming rights to a company for life, we'll do the other. There we go. Stadium's done. Obviously, with iron out a few other things as well, like the pitch and all the facilities and everything like that. But if we get the right people involved, the right investment, I can't see any reason why we can't, get something done. Now it's becoming a bit of a Liam Phelps hating session now, so I think I'll leave you guys to go and chat on and do that. I want to kind of back I wish. Well, the rumour I did hear today that we are signing a striker who is an ex-county player, so that's the first thing that come to my mind. Anyway, guys, I've gone over my half hour, just because I love you all so much, of course. I want to thank you all for getting involved. This was really hectic. You kept me busy all night, and I hope I didn't miss anybody's questions or comments. Thank you all for getting involved again. And thank you again to Scott Bowden. That's the other one that I'm glad you dropped that one in. Scott Bowden is another one. I'll eat my words. I will eat my words with Scott Bowden. I was quite critical of him. I wasn't the biggest fan. Even though he was scoring goals, I just felt he was lazy. But to be honest with you, I'd take him back just because he can score goals. He knows where the net is. But we're throwing all different strikers' names. Jolly won't come back, unfortunately, as much as it would be nice. James Hansen there's a player. There's a player, James Hansen. Too good for our level, I think, but it would be nice, so I'll leave you guys to it now. Thanks again, and thanks again to Kev Ward Media for sponsoring us this season, and our flags are going to look great because of the money you've given us, so thanks very much. And as always, guys, cheerio for now, up the county.